Good afternoon, everybody. We haven't made a video in a while. Today is actually February 10th, Thursday, and it's about 4:30 in the afternoon. I wanted to sneak into the Clubhouse so you guys can see what's going on. I know in the newsletter every week you get to see little bits and pieces, but it's not quite the same as when I come into the Clubhouse. All the workers are gone, so we're able to come in here. I took my mask off so you can actually see and hear me. And we're going to pan around a little bit. We're standing by the front door to the old lobby. And Lynthia, take a pan around about, you can see that the moldings are going up, the drywall is up, the paint is started, the finished painting. If you look down here, Lynthia is now looking at the floor. This section is where they stopped today. They're putting down the porcelain, which looks like marble. Can you hone in on that so people see how nice it actually looks? Maybe come a little closer. There we go. You can see the floors are beautiful. You can see the inset wood in the middle. That's going to run through the place for a nice contrast. Back there is the inset of where the carpet's going to go for the lounge type seating area back there. We still have a tremendous echo in here because there's no carpeting and furniture and things like that in yet. But I wanted you to see this. Take a look at the elevator. You see the elevator shaft has come together. All of this is going to be covered, and then the center of this is all illuminated. It's absolutely going to be gorgeous when it's done. We're going to take a little walk down this hallway because really what I want to talk to you today about is about the swimming pool and the paving project, because those are the two things everybody wants to know about. But I figure I'd at least whet your appetite with what's been going on. I know a lot of people say to themselves, I don't see people working, what's going on? Believe me, there's an army of people in here every day doing all the finishing details. We have millwork people, we have finished carpenters, we have plumbers, electricians, the carpet people are here, grinding all the floors and putting down the leveling compound. There's really a lot going on. It's starting to come together. So now we're heading west down the corridor where the library and the arts and crafts are. We're going to take a peek into the card room and the poker room, which are currently the millwork shop. This is where they're working every day. You can take a look over this way. You can see the size of the two rooms. It's now apparent more than ever now that it's coming together that this is way larger than what there used to be. Down in this end of the room, there are going to be 9 poker tables that are not folding tables. They're real poker tables. It's going to be beautiful. This is where the partition wall is supposed to go, so that this will be the poker room and that'll be the card room. We have 20 some odd permanent card tables coming for that room. You start to see things like the molding on the wall going up, all the detail in the ceiling, all the crown molding. It's not as impressive as it will be because obviously it's not finished painted yet. But all of those details are coming up. You can come look over here, see some of the details. This is an area where the built-in millwork will be going soon. I do want to go back to this partition wall for a sec because everybody wants to know when we're going to open. And obviously we're having the same supply issues that everybody else in the world is having. So one of the things that came up yesterday is that this partition wall, you can see all the hardware and everything else is in. And there really is only one company in Orlando that you can get this from. It's the company that always repaired the ones we used to have. There are other companies out there, but this is literally the company everybody uses. Well, they sent us a notice basically saying that there is a substantial price increase and that we have to pay more to get these delivered. The reality is we have a gross maximum price contract with both the GC and all these subs. They're not allowed to pass on the cost to us. So we're fighting that cost increase. They've basically given us an alternative that they are going to default on the contract if we don't give them the price increase. And they've done this to every one of their people that they're working with. Also, in doing the research, it sounds like the reality is our choice is going to be try to get our deposit back from them, from the receiver when they go into bankruptcy, because COVID's pretty much putting them out of business because they can't get supplies at reasonable costs, or try and work out a deal where they actually give us the materials for a small price increase. I mention this too because while it looks like nothing's going on, there are tons of people behind the scenes that on a daily basis are working out all these little details, because without this wall, I can't get you the CO for the building. But I can't get a wall from a company that's out of business. So this isn't poor planning or anything else. This is just the world we're living in. This was yesterday's fly in the ointment. The day before was some other news. We have to get a 2,000 amp breaker to upgrade the electric service to what it needs to be. The breaker was ordered in August of last year. The breaker was supposed to be here already. They sent us a notice to all their clients on Monday saying the earliest that breaker could possibly get here is July 31st. Well, we don't want to wait for that breaker. So 6 ways to Tuesday, you would think, well, run to a Home Depot or whatever. 2,000 amp breakers are custom made pieces. You can't just go buy them anywhere. We've obviously been waiting more than 5 months for it already. So we are trying to do a workaround with the county. The building can function on less than 2,000 amps. We can function on 1,600 amps, which is what we've built everything to. So we're trying to get a workaround to get a temporary CO so we can give you back your building without having to wait for that. Again, this isn't all doom and gloom. I'm just trying to point out to everybody, this is not like getting paint up and moldings up and putting furniture in and just getting the house done. This is a daily fire drill to fix things that no one ever could have imagined that didn't exist in the pre-COVID world when we started this. Thankfully, we have a gross maximum price, so we don't have to eat these increases, but we can't help when companies literally go out of business because of COVID and supply shortages. So the good news is we're still trying to get you the building by sometime in June. It looks like we can do that as long as we can get past these issues as they come up, and we continue to do that. The building is going to be well worth the wait, and it's going to be beautiful. I think you all know that just looking at what the fitness center is compared to the little beach hut that used to be there. The difference is night and day, so you should be all excited. We're going to walk down the hall and take a little bit of a look at the social hall, because you'll be able to see the grandeur of what that's going to look like, because you haven't seen it in a while. Then we're going to walk out by the pool and give you an update on the pool. And then last topic will be the paving, because we know you all received the e-blast that we sent out. And I want to talk about that a little to put some of your concerns at ease. So Lynn, let's take a walk down the hall. Okay, are we on again? All right. So you can see from the size of this, for those that have lived here for many years, this is nothing like what you used to have at all. This is literally a beautiful theater space, multi-purpose space. You can see the front of the bar is put together. The finishes are not on it, but you can see how it's going to be. This is going to be a service bar. So when you're sitting watching a show or you're having a dinner, you can order a cocktail and have it delivered to you. You have the sound room up there. The ceilings are starting to come together. So it's a professional sound room, and it's centered on the stage. You can see the stage at this point is centered in the room. It's all painted black. This pile of metal here is the drapery. People have been here for the better part of a week. They're starting to put up the tracks for the drapes, the wings, the drapes in the back. All of that, which seems like nothing like hanging drapes, but believe me, it's a whole week project, and it's been 3 months in the making to get it right. So it will be professional the way it's supposed to be. They don't have the moldings up here, but you can see they've started to put the crown molding in all the details in the ceiling. You see all the different levels of light. And in the next few weeks, you're going to be able to see all the beautiful art glass lights that are coming in here to really set it off and make it look like more than just a square box. Let's take a look in the catering kitchen. This is really more for the people that used to do things with the clubs. You know the little kitchen we used to have? You're looking at it there. That's the bar. That was the whole kitchen we had for running this place with no cooking or anything. So let's take a look in here. And not that you'll really have to worry about the kitchen, because now everything for the clubs and everything's going to be done from here. But this is your kitchen. They put the FRP up on the walls this week. This is basically a textured white surface so that water, spaghetti sauce, whatever can come on this, and it comes right off with Windex. Now they're going to start putting in the tile, which runs up the wall and comes down, and there's floor drains everywhere. So this can all get wet and filthy like it will, and still be clean at the end of the day. Also professionally designed so that the waiters and waitresses and servers can come in this way through swinging doors. This is recessed so that the light and the noise from the kitchen doesn't interfere with the people seeing a show. They come in this way. They will be able to get their food and go out that way, so nobody's bumping into each other. There's been a lot of detail put into this. And just wanted to show you there is progress in this. It's all been really well planned out, and the finishing touches to the walls are actually up at this point. So it'll be exciting once the ceiling is in and you start seeing the equipment come in. So let's figure out how we're going to get out to the swimming pool from here. Maybe I can just push one of those doors and get out. So shut it off till we get outside. All right, we're back again, but now we're back out on the pool deck, which none of you have seen for a long time, and I'm sure everybody's saying, what's the big deal? Why can't you just refinish the pool and put it back together? So here is the fly in the ointment currently with putting the pool deck back together. Right now, my main focus is to not do anything that's going to screw up us getting the CO for this building, because the permit for this building right now makes us bring anything we touch related to this permit up to the current code. So for example, we had to do a whole bunch of electrical work in the building because they made us bring it up to the code. There are other things we've had to do, and financially those are very expensive and you don't get a choice. What I'm worried about is if I start doing the pool, which is what we were going to do, when we did all the research, yes, it was impossible to find people to do the diamond bright, and all that stuff is still a problem. What we found out is that the code has changed from 2000 to 2022, that the pitch of the pool deck away from the pool to the building is not now what it was in 2000 when it was built. I'm sorry. So let's take a walk down here, and I'm going to show you why this becomes really, really important. This area out in the center there, where the two pools and the building meet, you have competing elevations going on where the slope away from the building has to be a certain amount for the rainwater to run off. The slope from the pool has to come the opposite direction so that the water from the rain doesn't overflow the pool. When these things are so close like they are up there, there is literally no way to get these things to work. You say, why is all of that important? Well, first of all, it's on the GC to give me back the building with a CO. So he's got to work from the building out and get us the CO for the building. If I take on trying to do that at the same time and pull the permit for those pools, there's a really good chance that when they come to do the inspections, they're going to say, wait, this is all part of the bigger project. If it's locked into the bigger project, what happens is I've got to bring the pools and the entire pool deck up to the 22 code. Not something we want to do, because it means I would literally have to regrade and replace the whole pool deck. I would have to put handicap lifts into each of the big swimming pools and the spa. You can see where this would go crazy. My estimation is that little piece, if they pull that trigger, could cost us $750,000, $750 a home for that, just because we want to do the pool and get it back to you before the building. I don't think that's a risk anybody wants to take. If the CO for the building is done and we just put this back together the way it was, they really will not have the ability to say to us when we go to pull a permit to re-diamond bright the pool that we need to bring that up to the 22 code, because all we're doing is maintenance on the pool end. Part of me doesn't even want to say this out here on YouTube because it's going to put the seed in somebody's ear, but believe me, everybody's thought of this already. So what's happening is we are putting everything back the way it was. The building permit ends at a delineated line with the permit. We close this permit out and we go for that later once everything else is closed out, so we don't run the risk of having to bring it up to the 22 standards, because we're literally just taking what we always had and making it look pretty. So I hope everybody can understand this is not about not getting it done or not focusing on it or not thinking it's important. This is being done because there's a tremendous risk financially to the association of having to deal with the situation that we may not even be able to take care of. I want to let you know that, because what we're going to try and do is we're going to try and get this all put back together the way it was. Obviously, it can't be exactly the way it was because there's a new building in the way. So that we can then open this pool for you as soon as we can. It may not have a new pool deck and all the tiles and stuff we wanted to have immediately, but I want to get it back to you. It may not happen until I have the CO for this building, but there's a really good reason for that trumps everybody's desire to want to be in that pool. So it's not that we can't do it. We give you the facts as we have the information, and the information we have currently is telling me do not touch that thing with a 10-foot pole until you have this all reconciled. So I hope everybody agrees with that decision and understands that that's really the only course of action for this. That means you're probably not going to see the pool till July 4th. That's the earliest I can imagine you're going to see it. If I have great news for you and we give it to you sooner, that is what it is. I know we originally talked about all these other dates. That was based on the information at the time. This is the information now, and thank God we didn't start this, because can you imagine if I had to come back to you and say, cough up $1,000 a home because the Department of Health wants X, Y, and Z. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So I said the last thing we're going to talk about is the roads. Some people are a little annoyed or whatever that we sent out the notice that we sent out to you via e-blast about the roads. I find this a little strange because when we did the Blue Stream e-blast, everybody said, you should have told us in advance, you should have told us in advance, you should have told us in advance. We said we wanted to tell you when we had all the information. All that notice about the paving was to say to you, if you're having your family come and visit on the dates that your community is going to be done, maybe you want to think about changing that because this place is going to be a mess. Maybe you don't want to have new furniture delivered the week that you're supposed to get a new road. It didn't go into all the details about how you're going to park, how you're going to get out to your dialysis appointments and things like that, because this is not the time to have that conversation or worry about it. Communities do their roads all the time. Our roads are being done by a large company that does this all the time. We have a traffic engineer that's going to be here on site to deal with the traffic. The irony of this is for the people that have been here for 20 years, they all come and they say, we remember when they paved the roads the first go around. They paved one side of the road and you park on the swale on the other side of the street that day. And then when they pave the other side of the road, my neighbor parks on my swale. That's exactly what's going to happen, more likely than not. But at the end of the day, everybody is going to do what needs to be done. The roads have to be done. They have nothing to do with this project. They're not holding up this project. The people that are doing it are professional. We have already spoken with the postmaster, Amazon, everybody you could possibly imagine, and all their answers were unanimously the same. Don't need to tell us about it. We know here's what happens. We hold the mail for X number of days. If somebody really needs something, they can come to the post office on Boynton Beach Boulevard and they can get it. If you're ordering from Amazon on those days, check the box that you're going to pick it up at a yellow box somewhere Don't have them deliver it to your house, because the Amazon drivers are not going to drive on wet pavement. They're just not going to do it. That being said, if we're only doing half the road at a time, well, somebody's going to drive down the half they can, and they're going to walk across the street and deliver your package. So all is not lost. If you need to get out of your house because you have to go to work or something, you know well in advance they're not doing the whole community for 6 days. They're going to do a section at a time. You're going to see what they're doing, and you're going to know the night before, you know what, I better park on the other side of the street so I can get out and go to work and come home. For places like Terra Nova, some of Terra Nova will probably have to park in the parking lot up here and figure out how to walk back, or call a neighbor who you know is out of town, a snowbird's up north, park in their driveway. We're giving you plenty of time to figure this out. But there are no special accommodations going to be made for Venetian aisles any more than they're made when they do it in the Shores or any place else, or when they pave Lyons Road. They don't come and say, oh, I'm sorry, Mrs. Tilley, we're going to do something special for you. It's not happening, folks. The letter is not from Castle. It's not from your board. It's not from management. It's being run by the people that do the paving. We're not going to them and saying, here's how you're going to do it. That's not our job. It's not our expertise. We've hired qualified people to do it, and they're going to do it in the least painful way possible for everybody that lives here. So please don't have anguish over this. It's going to happen. You're going to be okay. You're not going to be shut in. You're going to get through this. I do understand there's nothing else to do, so people want to panic, but please don't. It's not a big deal. At the end of the day, it is going to happen. While I'm on that topic, some people have asked about the speed bumps and things like that. The speed bumps will all be coming out as we are doing the roads, just like we promised. The stop signs, they'll all be coming out as promised. A professional traffic engineer has designed what's going in. It has been approved by the Department of Transportation, even though it's a private road. We went the extra mile. Speed bumps are coming back. They're not bumps, I'm sorry, humps. They will go from one side of the road to the other, so there is no way to get over them without driving over them. They will not be by the intersections. They are placed where they're supposed to be placed. And I believe most of the stop signs on Venetian Isles Boulevard will come out, because the reality is that is the main thoroughfare. The folks coming out of the communities are the ones that should be stopping, because traffic should be going through on Venetian Isles Boulevard. Again, I share it with you, not to be argumentative or anything like that. I share it with you in case you're wondering what's happening with that. The study's been done, the engineering's done. It's part and parcel to what's going to happen. We will be starting the paving in the back of the community, just like we've said at every board meeting in each of the communities. It's going to start in Sorrento and Corsica and work its way forward, which makes sense because the last place that should be finished is the parking up to the clubhouse and all the way out to Lyons Road. Should all be done, weather permitting, by the end of March. So it's not a long period of time we got to get through. We're all here to help you. Try to take a breath and relax. And everybody stay safe, and we'll talk soon.